we have a critical new report that is showing a catastrophic situation. Cue the fire for a second time. It is that serious, and you know, any word with the word cat in it, it means trouble, or it's not good. I mean, actually, can cats even love you? Those are the most narcissistic things. And actually, cue the fire for a third time. They're mean, too, to dogs. Look at this. Clearly, tickles the feet, wakes them up, right? Hides. That is not a nice cat. That is bad cat. Also, we are facing this close to a sell-off. Actually, if I change the line, this is a CTA. Let me do candles. Oh, you can't see the wick. It actually wick down, touch that line. Do not, that is your CTA line in the sand. That is where all of the computers push the sell billions button. Well, this is on the S&P 500, just broad index there. And this is when I pushed the sell button. That was the day right there. Have not been back in on the S&P. That's where I entered. That's where I exited, and I should have taken out a short on the way down. But I'll tell you when I get back in. This is called your no-no zone, right? This danger Will Robbins, also possible bear flag there. Just saying. Also, Jerome Powell's worst nightmare is coming true. That is the face of the worst nightmare coming true. And I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe give us a boo-hoo. I should have been a rapper. You know what? That's it. New channel. Me and Skylar. So it'd be Bravo, B, and S. The BS. That's a good rap group. But the 2-year yield keeps going higher, and this guy has to chase it. Him and all of his 400 PhDs. And I'm wondering if he's just going to have a FOMO moment. You know, when Bitcoin's ripping, you're like, oh, should I buy it? I think that's kind of where he might be at right about now. And for all of you that said, the housing market can never go down. Well, unless you mean down is down. Well, does losing trillions, is that down? That's actually plural. Trillions and trillions, more than one, has just been shaved off the housing market. Oopsies. And at the same time, incomes keep going up. No. And breaking news, the scariest charts for bulls. He's still going all in. CTA's about to sell $220 billion starting now, which I will get to that in just a second. But some of you are like, where are we at, like, on this ride? Well, I think everyone wants it. Just return to normal. And what is even normal? You want 2020, 2021? Huh? How about 2022? You're like, no, like, back then, we were all arguing about the orange guy and his tweets. Can we go back to bad orange guy with tweets? And here, I'll even make orange for you. There you go. But where are we at? We're right about there, okay? We had that, everything returned to normal. You said the stock market's going to go down, Bravo, and it went up. And I said, yeah, it's called a dead cat bounce. Or it's a bear market rally. Those are the worst. And they catch all retail completely offsides. Just when retail lost all their money. They did. They lost everything. Crypto, everything's gone. And now they're like, wait, we got one more push. And then the baby falls out, right? This is there it is. It goes like that. It goes into fear, capitulation, despair. And you're like, I will never gamble in that thing again. Well, unless you know, like, right there, you click the button, you click sell, okay? And you make money going down. Then you're like, hey, my account goes up. I know a lot of you on this channel are like, I'm just going to wait to the bottom. I'm just going to wait till there's blood in the streets. You're still not going to buy because you got that little fear thing in the back of your head, which it's a good thing to have, but also a bad thing because then you're always scared and you don't take action on anything. So that's not good. Some of you guys are just hoping that politicians will be the ones that fix everything, right? If I just vote this way, they don't got your back there, Scott. You got to do you. You got to help yourself. And anyways, they'll just lie or they'll change things. Depends on what politician's in. Like you have 2 negative prints, GDP. Oh, well, that's not really a recession. That's called a slow session. And I say, is that like foreplay? I don't know. Well, guess what we have now? And this I haven't seen anywhere. Hello? Anyone? U.S. real GDP actual, we're slipping here. It's a negative 0.6. SpaghettiOs. That's Q1 2023. Oh, I'm sure everything will be fine. Yeah, no, nothing to see here. Estimate for U.S. Q1 GDP skews slightly negative. So we got negative GDP, everything's slowing, housing market's tumbling, stock market's tumbling, wages are going up, and Jerome is freaking out. And honestly, does that really look like a face of freaking out? That's a weird face. That's like, I don't know, your parents are telling you that you gotta hug your creepy uncle or something. And what's up with creepy? Why is it always the uncles that are the creepy ones? But you guys, I've showed you this. This is your CTAs. These are the computers. These are the hedgies. These are the people with the money. And they just sit there and they do what I do. They look at charts and they trade patterns. Well, kind of. More like technical areas, and I'll show it to you. Which on the, why are we just breaking news all day long? Oh my gosh. I'll show it to you on the S&P 500. It's this thing right here. It's actually right about there. I mean, we are on the cusp. So if you guys want to take a screenshot, and you could plug it in right there. There's your CTA sell wall, and we just tipped it, just the tip. So don't cross that right there. 3,900 and I think it's 70. Yeah, let's go 60. 69 for good measure. And actually on the 4-hour, you'll probably make it right into there, and then it's going to bounce. See that green? That's Lux Algo. If you want that, but my trend line says right there, that's where it's going to bounce. It's actually going to bounce right there. Look at that. It also, there is a detected pattern here, and it's an ascending wedge. Let's take a gander. You're like, that looks horrible. I don't see anything. Well, that would be two of us. Where? Oh, okay. That's an ascending wedge. That was the worst ascending wedge I'd ever seen. I had to refresh it. There you go. Okay. You want to know which way ascending wedges break? Just FYI, 80% of the way through, they break down. But it's okay because we're not all the way 80% of the way through. So you might actually swing back up to that blue line. Make money up. See, that's exactly what I did. Buy. Sell. Buy. Yeah, we'll see on this one. Also, if you're wondering, what's the white lines there? That's MACD crosses. If you want to take my swing trading course, you'd be able to do this. I don't know. This is probably where you're selling, right? And that's where you're buying. And then you sell and you just keep making profit, paper trading. Also, please, if there was any course you wanted, grab it this week. All prices go up. They're currently $300 or $299. I don't know. I guess that seems, people are like, wow, that's really cheap. $300, woo, you're pushing it. But it's going to $400, so grab it. Please don't wait and then email me and be like, I don't know, I was in Hawaii, I missed it. For those of you who are new, start swing trading and then go to the bear market course, which we're currently in, so you get to use both of them. When the market goes up, you'll be good. When the market goes down, you'll be good. And then also, you don't have to worry about what Jerome does. Just follow the charts. You can turn off all media. You wake up in the morning and you go, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. So you can make your bank account go bigger. Unless that's not important to you, then it's okay. Jerome, because your wife will spend all of it. Jerome Powell's worst fear. Risk coming true in this darn job market. Paychecks are climbing at the service businesses eyed by the Fed. That's feeding into closely watched inflation gauge. You can't get people to go from clock in, go over to that table, give them food, go over to that table. They're like, pay me more. I mean, just a few months ago, it was $12. Not no more. Now it's somewhere between 17 and 20. And then it's going to be 25 and 30 and 40 and 50. And this is just to have people bring food to the table, which you should just probably automate it. But everything is doing this. Everyone's like, pay me more. And I wonder why. Could it be that prices have gone up? Actually, it's so bad, this inflation thing. Listen to this. This is a chef.
Okay, so the news came out
I'll be quick.
Overnight. Apparently now, with the high cost of eggs, a dozen eggs cost more than a pound of beef. It has never been like that in the history of the world.
Oh, it's fine. And seniors struggle with record high. Imagine if you're on a fixed income. And that's why they always say, just tighten the belt. How far until the belt gets inverted, right? That's why I always say, your whole life, the way the system is created, every time they create anything, money, it's debt-based system with interest. It makes it harder on you to keep up. Well, unless you're on the other side of it, but this is the only way right here. You always have to start businesses, or you make so much money in your businesses that you could just trade equities, right? Or you put it into what's a 1 year pan, like 5% right now. That still doesn't keep up with eggs. So then what you have to do is put it on your credit cards. And this is just the economy that we are currently in. And everyone says it's fine, even though credit card debt higher than savings for record percentage of Americans. And that's just, people trying to solve the problem. That doesn't solve it. You're just acting like the government and kicking the can until the day comes where the can cannot be kicked. I know everyone's like, just reset this thing, please, quick, now. Is it soon? Can we have those digital dollars into our wallet now? But I'm telling you, it's a trap. They're setting it all up. The cage is set. All the people are going to run to it. And then you are going to what's called lose all of your freedoms, which, most people are okay giving them up anyways, which I've witnessed over the last, say, 24 months. And our founding fathers said, if you ever go safety over freedom, you won't get either. And whenever a government gets its chance to give you safety and take away the freedom, it will. And you don't get it back. And it is a constant battle, well, until, you do the war thing and you go to another island and you're like, look, we'll call this America, and then we repeat the same things. It's like no taxation without representation, right? Because we went through all of this and we made sure that this would never happen again. It just happened again. We just are running out of islands to run to. Also, there was one other thing back to this interview.
West feeding 1,000 active duty men and women.
Oh, he's talking about the food places, because everyone's starving. You go to the food banks, and they're actually feeding military because even military members can't keep up. But it looks like food banks are starting to fill up again. We have SNAP benefits changing, and people that, are below, they're like, well, how do I eat? Also, when it comes to below, they keep moving the goalposts. So that's why I always say you're constantly having to paddle. It's a gigantic tsunami tidal wave, and you got to get over it. And you're not going to be able to get over it if you listen to everything that everyone tells you to do, right? From growing up, it's like, yeah, do this and do that and go into debt. Doesn't work. Make sure you put all your money in a 401k, lost 20% of its value. That's just last year. Then we have this year, we have the next year. But if you look back at my charts, you'll know we have periods of it's really bad for 30 years. You're just suffering from recency bias, so you only know now. You're like, this is what I know. Housing market only goes up. Well, except when it posts a $2.3 trillion drop. Poof! Right now, U.S. housing market posts $2.3 trillion drop. I know, I just said that 7 times. Biggest since 2008. Hey, I remember those good old times. See, my recency bias can go back a while, so I know, and I don't want to repeat same pattern, which we repeat same pattern. So that is why I am risk adverse. I don't know. I don't like risk. Well, I do. I'm always in the game, always bunt. How can you, right? You see the difference? People are like, I would never be into that gambling. It's not gambling. It's just I get up, I know I'm going to bunt it, and look, I made 1%. Okay, back up. I'm not buying a lottery ticket and going, come on, Bitcoin to $1 trillion. That's why everyone gets so frustrated with me when I'm like, no, I'm not hodling at 70K, and I'm not buying it at 70K. I'm going to sell, and then I'm going to find somewhere that's a bottom, and I'm going to buy, and then it's going to go up, and I'm going to sell, and I'm just going to keep doing that. And yes, maybe someday things will just rocket to the moon and I will have missed it, but I didn't because I keep collecting all my seashells along the way every single day. Also known as compound interest. My time on YouTube, my time trading, my time with businesses every single day, and it collects things and then I can do whatever I want. But then I don't because I really enjoy working, so I don't know what to do anymore. But I can tell you what I won't be doing is going and doing a job. That drives me crazy. Once you're on the other side of the fence, you're like, oh my gosh, how do you possibly do that? Just like, hey, look, Wells Fargo lays off mortgage bankers days after rewarding some with California retreat. If California is a retreat, okay. And I'll tell you what was so difficult, being a teacher, which is pretty much you get to kind of do your own thing, as long as you don't, ruffle too many feathers. But when you get written up and you're like, what? When you put your blood, sweat, tears, everything into kids and you're like, I want to see that they do that amazing. And they're like, we're going to write you up. And I was written up all the time. It was great. I'm like, fire me. Like, go ahead, which is nice when you make a bazillion times more not being a teacher and you do it because you love it and you're like, fire me? But still, it's like a punch in the gut when you're like, okay, these fidget spinners are going to do really well, even though I'm just kind of saying back in the day, I do things that, well, in school, they'd call it unorthodox or unethical. And I just call it trying to help them in a mindset to start a business and make money. So I used my money, okay, and I bought fidget spinners, pallets from China, and I said, here, sell it to your friends. You could just pay me the cost of it and enjoy the $20. And they're like, oh my gosh, Mr. Bravo, I'm making $150 a day. I'm like, congratulations. Now let's trade it. And then the parents would go, I think this is unethical. They can't be making more than me. I had kids making more than their parents all the time. And it was daily that I had principals walking into my classroom because there's so many complaints. I'm like, hey guys, go ahead, take a seat. Just teaching the kids how to make money. I mean, I had like my pile of write-ups mile high. It is what it is. But my students went off to make movement watches, sold for $300 billion. I just was going through some articles, found one of my former students selling her notes. Oh, that's unethical. Made millions. And even you guys, I see in the comments sections, in the emails, I rarely get an email saying, I lost money. It's a rarity. Not to say that you won't, okay? Not to say that you won't, but starting businesses, it's changed my life. And yes, sometimes it changes your life for a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, you end up working more. At least it's doing stuff that you like. That's why I'm here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you tomorrow.